Good day, everyone. My name is Vimbai Jacha, and I am JCI Local President for Tshwane, running this year 2023. Today, I'll be talking to you about Sustainable Development Goal number 1, which talks about ending poverty in all its forms everywhere. Now, with the rising inflation and impacts of wars all over the world, there is a need for us as active citizens to become more intentional about creating peace and making prosperity a norm on this planet. With an aim to ensure social protection for the poor and vulnerable, there is need for us to launch creative entries towards basic needs such as recycling material, access to healthcare, access to clean drinking water, food banks, sanitation, education. This indeed is a big fight, but however, a fight that we can all conquer if we all come together as active citizens and put our heads, our energies and resources together and find solutions to threats caused by climate change. Let's dare to have a world that is full of peace. Let's dare to have a world that has no poverty, and let's make those moves. No matter how big or small, a move is a move once made.
Good day, everyone. My name is Ruth Gravel, and I'm the local treasurer for JCI Tshwane. I'm going to be talking about SDG 16, which talks about peace, justice, and strong institutions. It is very painful to raise our kids, which are the leaders for tomorrow, in fear of any type of violence that can happen to them. Imagine a 2-year-old being abused at such a young and tender age. She'll grow up with lack of confidence, emotionally damaged, and other emotional dysfunctions. How will she accomplish her dreams when the world has already shown her the bitter side? Imagine a young woman starting her career. She has dreams to accomplish, hardworking, and entering the corporate world, only for her to discover that she has to be sexually involved with the boss for her to climb up the ladder. Imagine a young man starting his business as a young entrepreneur and getting excited when opportunity arises for him to grow his business, only for him to discover that he has to pay a bribe or pay a certain amount for him to get access to grants and certain funds. Imagine, because of young age and lack of connections, the youth being deprived of their justice because the world is full of corrupt people. Let us come together as JCIs and communicate to create a safe and better environment and the corporate world for the youth. It begins with you and me. We are the people. Remember, we are building the leaders for tomorrow.
In regards to the economic benefit that women have in society and the world, and specifically in developing countries, it's important to acknowledge the fact that people are not susceptible to emotional and very opinionated beliefs. They would probably dismiss the more ethical side of feminists and what they stand for, which is equality. And so when we promote the fact that economically women are very equal and on a common ground with men, and in fact can perform just as well as men can, we're promoting a more logical and a more concise factor that people are more susceptible to accepting.
Hello, this is GoFit International, and we're having a riveting discussion on feminism and its approach in the workplace, economics or ethics.
So today's motion will be, this House believes that it is in the interest of the feminist movement in developing nations lobbying for greater workplace opportunities to use the arguments of economic benefits as opposed to ethics of care.
Specifically women in the workplace, which feminist movements promote and fight for, that they should be rather arguing that the economic benefits it could pose to have women in the workplace rather than the ethics of why you should have women in the workplace.
We've seen through multiple corporations that they don't care about like the more ethic part of like their business, but more of the economic benefit or what's going to profit them at the end of the day. Like that example of tax breaks with charities and how they only do them because of the tax break part. And some corporates even start their own charities, so they still get that money back plus the tax break. So yeah, I think economic route is better.
I think it depends on what lens you choose to look at it through. I think if you want to talk about successfully and effectively getting women better opportunities in the workplace, then 100% you're going to have to argue about the economic benefits rather than the ethics behind it. But if you want to look at it as what is the core of feminism, what is the core of the feminism movement, I think arguing about the economics of it is, it basically devalues what the feminist movement is. It devalues what women are and just speaks on how women are able to make corporations money rather than women are able to do jobs as efficiently, if not more successful than men can.
And to add on to like what you said, where you said you have to argue that they are a tool to economic success. Honestly, the argument on ethics and care is far more effective because it humanizes women rather than portray them as objects or tools towards economic success. Women are far more than some objects that you can use in order to achieve success for your company.
I think in like the society we live in today, though, as much as we can want to focus on ethics and appreciate that women have value, we need to already innately believe that women have that value. And so when we're saying that they have an economic benefit to the world, we're not saying that they don't have another value. We're just saying that they can produce results as well. They can also achieve as much, and they can also provide profit for businesses in the environment.
Yeah, like I get where you guys are coming from with how like it sort of devalues women and how it isn't really fighting for what the feminist movement is at its core. But I feel like we've definitely, like over the decades, we've definitely tried the ethics of it. We've definitely tried that, women are just as capable, women, can do any job man can do. I think we've reached that point where we actually have to speak the same language as business is speaking, which is profit. And I think having women in your workplace and also being able to prove that, the like equality is present in your business would be great for profit-wise, which is what every business strives for. It would be great because now people would be more motivated to buy from it because no, they're an ethical company, they employ women, that type of thing. Yeah, they have a lower gender pay gap. They're helping to end the patriarchy, that type of thing. Whether those women were employed out of ethics or out of the financial gain, the consumer doesn't really know. They don't really know that, but they know that this company, at the end of the day, men and women are treated equal. They paid equally, they're treated equally in said workplace.
Because unfortunately, we live in a capitalistic society. Most corporations only care, like you said, about profits. So I feel like in order to at least get somewhat of a foot forward, you need to speak their language in a way. Sure, it is kind of devaluing because now we are saying that in order for women to be seen as on the same plane as men, you have to show that they have some sort of value, and that shouldn't be the case.
But I don't agree with the fact that we have to speak the same language because, in all honesty, capitalism and feminism, I don't think go hand in hand because feminism is all about equality between both genders, between men and women. But when you talk about capitalism, it literally thrives off inequality. It requires a social hierarchy to work. So you can't really speak their language when your entire motive is the opposite of what they're aiming for.
But in developing countries, bro, they genuinely only care about money if you think about it, because that's what society has been pushing in developing countries. In order for you to be successful or look like your more successful developed cousin, you have to produce more money in your economy. So why should I, as a male in a developing country, care that, it's ethical, but then what does it do for the whole premise of why I work? Do you get me?
I think also like in the whole developing countries thing, we have to consider the fact that in a lot of these developing countries, more specifically like in Africa, we encounter like the traditional ideologies of how, you know, women stay at home, you know, they take care of the kids, men go to work, they're the breadwinners and things like that. And even we can preach about the ethics of and the harms this is doing to your society as a whole, or what the harms that this misogyny has, the harms that like child marriages have on your country as a whole. It clearly hasn't worked because we've been screaming about that for decades. You know, I think if you go to developing countries, the good it can do for their economy, for their GDP and things like that, they'd be more open to it in a sense, because in reality, that's what it would do. It definitely would help with economic growth. Like we saw it in Rwanda with the Rwandan genocide, where like majority of the people that died in the Rwandan genocide were men, and women had to step up. They had to go into the workplace and they had to basically build the country up again, and they did so successfully. You know, like Rwanda has one of the lowest gender pay gaps like in the world. So I think when we do preach the economic benefits and people see that, hey, women actually like do benefit us, they be like the ethical conversation of it can then come in. You know, it's not that we devalue ethics, it's just which one like would do a better job at ensuring this equality.
Yeah, I think with ethics, like as much as like especially for developing nations, like even if they do, you know, consider ethics and they prioritize ethics, right, they would have to prioritize their economy more, because if we're speaking about developing nations, most developing nations do not have a thriving economy. A lot of their people are living in poverty. They need to find ways to make money fast. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, it would make sense then to argue that, you know what, women can make you money, they can make you more money, and that's how the economy will improve.
And I think another factor to prove the benefit of this, of the economic benefit, I think it would be the fact that people are more susceptible to accepting logical reasonings, and I think ethics can be said that they are emotive and not based on solid grounds. And as much as people can say people have innate value, feminism preaches equality for all, it doesn't just promote the fact that women need to be of a certain degree, it's promoting equality. And I think if you give people the logical reasonings that women do provide and they do help the economy, I think people are more susceptible to accepting that compared to emotive.
I think also like showing that women are able to, you know, be as successful in the workplace is a stepping stone to just proving that women are equal to men. I think speaking about like the financial part of it is just, I don't know, I think it's just a stepping stone to how we can start conversations again about, okay, if women are equal to men in the workplace, then women can be equal to men in other aspects of life, you know. And I think in that case, then, you know, that's how you get closer to sharing and proving the core of what feminism is.
Good day, my name is Silindile Mbaza, and today I want to talk to you about Sustainable Development Goals. The specific one that I want to talk to is goal number 8, which speaks about decent work and economic growth in our countries. Now, as the goal says, we're trying to reach these things by 2030. If we look specifically into South Africa, we know that we've got an unemployment rate of about 32%. But when we zoom into that number and we look at the youth unemployment rate, it's almost at 50%. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. That's a crazy number that we have to work towards. Why is it important for us to all play a role? Well, leading is our duty, and meaning that even though you are secure and you have a job at this point in time, it means that almost 50% of other people don't. they don't have a decent work or a job, and we're not then going to result in economic growth for our country. More and more people are becoming dependent on grants in order for them to be able to survive. We can only put that up for so long because we know that that is not a sustainable action that our country can take. And so it is up to all of us to not only create jobs, but to get involved in the conversations that will help us to create more opportunities for young people in South Africa. And opportunities come in different shapes and forms. It doesn't have to be a formal setting when we talk about jobs. There are so many different kinds of ways we can make money. You could be in trading, you could be in network marketing, you could be an informal entrepreneur, you could be a tax practitioner, things that maybe don't need you to study further because maybe you don't have the money or the capital to be able to do so. But there is information available, and how can we leverage? So as JCI, leading is our duty, and we are responsible to making sure that we conscientize people on the opportunities available in order for us to reach the goal. Thank you.